Sophia Ramirez had always chased sparks. At 28, the Austin-based graphic designer lived for the electric hum of possibility late-night sketches in her South Congress loft, weekend runs along Lady Bird Lake, and the occasional Tinder swipe that promised something hotter than her morning cold brew. Her life was a vibrant collage of color palettes and deadlines, but romance had been a series of near misses. Until Marcus Hale matched with her on a humid Thursday in June 2024. His profile was magnetic. 35, freelance photographer with sun-kissed skin, a jawline carved by mountain hikes in Big Bend, and a bio that read like poetry, chasing light and honest connection. Let's make memories that develop slowly. Their first messages flowed like good tequila. By Saturday they were sharing tacos at Uchi on South Lamar, the kind of place where candlelight dances on exposed brick and conversation turns intimate without effort. Marcus listened like no one else really listened, his hazel eyes locking on hers as she described her latest campaign for a local tequila brand. When he walked her home under the string lights of Rainy Street, the kiss against her doorframe ignited something feral. That night blurred into heat and hunger. His hands mapped her body with an artist's precision, every touch deliberate, every whisper laced with promise. They didn't sleep until dawn, tangled in her sheets, the Austin skyline glowing through the windows. Sophia woke feeling alive in a way she hadn't in years. "This feels different," she texted her best friend later. Did. The second date was even more intoxicating. They hiked Mount Bonnell at sunset, the Colorado River glittering below like spilled ink. Back at his sleek East Austin loft, exposed beams, vintage cameras on every surface, the passion escalated. Marcus was insatiable, dominant yet tender, the kind of lover who made her forget the world outside. He cooked breakfast shirtless the next morning, talking about shooting the Northern Lights someday, with the right person. Sophia was hooked. Red flags. There were none she wanted to see. His phone always faced down, work stuff, he said with a wink. His stories about exes were vague but charming. She ignored the way his grip tightened just a fraction too long when she mentioned traveling alone. By their third meetup, Marcus suggested the perfect escape. New Orleans. Just us. No phones, no deadlines. I know this historic hotel on Royal Street, balconies. Jazz floating up from the streets, the kind of place where time slows down. Sophia booked the flights before she could overthink it. On July 12, 2024, they landed at Miswai, the thick Louisiana air wrapping around them like a secret. He'd reserved a deluxe suite on the 5th floor of the iconic Hotel Monteleone, the grande dame of the French Quarter since 1886. Their room overlooked Royal Street's wrought iron galleries, with a private balcony framed by cascading ferns and gas lamps that flickered like old movie reels. The first 48 hours were pure cinematic romance. They rode the famous Carousel Bar, sipping Sazeracs as the room spun slowly. They wandered Jackson Square at midnight, hand in hand, the cathedral glowing like a wedding cake. Back in the room, the sex was epic, sweaty, uninhibited, the kind that left marks and memories. Marcus whispered filthy promises against her neck while the sounds of Bourbon Street pulsed 5 stories below. Sophia felt like the heroine of her own sultry novel. But on the third night the temperature shifted. Started small. After an evening of beignet and live jazz at Preservation Hall, they returned to the suite flushed and laughing. Marcus poured wine from the minibar, but his smile didn't reach his eyes. He'd been checking his phone more, stepping onto the balcony for quick calls. When Sophia playfully reached for it, he snatched it away harder than necessary. "Just client stuff, babe. Don't ruin the mood." The mood was already fracturing. They made love again, but this time it felt different, possessive, almost punishing. Afterward, as she lay catching her breath, Marcus stood at the balcony doors, silhouetted against the night. His voice dropped. "You know, some women don't appreciate what they have. They push. They leave." The words hung like humidity. Sophia laughed it off, but ice crept down her spine. Then the mask slipped completely. At 2:17 a.m., she woke to his hands around her throat. The pressure was immediate, crushing. Marcus's face, the same face that had worshipped her body for days, was twisted into something unrecognizable, eyes black with rage. "You're just like the others," he snarled, voice low and venomous. "All of you swipe right, play the game, then ghost when it gets real." His thumbs dug into her windpipe. Sophia's vision sparked white. She clawed at his arms, nails drawing blood, but he was stronger, straddling her, the weight of him pinning her to the king-sized bed. In that frozen moment of terror, fragments clicked. The way he'd steered every conversation back to loyalty, the faint scars on his knuckles, the burner phone she'd glimpsed once in his bag. Later, police would discover Marcus Hale was no photographer. He was a predator who had used Tinder across Texas and Louisiana for 2 years. 3 women missing. 2 bodies found in remote bayous with ligature marks. Sophia was meant to be number 4. Gasping, she bucked wildly, knee connecting with his groin. He roared, grip loosening for one precious second. Sophia rolled, crashing to the floor, the bedside lamp shattering. Blood trickled from her nose and mouth where he'd backhanded her earlier in the struggle. She scrambled toward the balcony, lungs burning, vision tunneling. Marcus lunged, grabbing her ankle, but she kicked free, the French doors slamming open. The balcony air hit her like freedom and death at once. 5 stories below, Royal Street shimmered, late-night revelers, a saxophone wailing from a corner bar, horse-drawn carriages clopping past. No safety net, just cobblestones and gravity. Marcus filled the doorway, chest heaving, blood on his hands, her blood. "Don't," he warned, but the command cracked with desperation. Sophia climbed the wrought iron railing. Her legs shook. The drop yawned roughly 60 feet to the sidewalk. She looked back once. His face was a mask of pure malice. Then she jumped. The fall was eternal and instantaneous. Wind roared. Her body twisted mid-air. She hit the striped awning of the hotel's ground floor cafe. First it tore but slowed her, then slammed onto a parked Uber on the street. Metal crunched. Glass exploded. Pain detonated through her spine, her ribs, her skull. Screams erupted from tourists and locals alike. Phones came out. "Call 911. Someone shouted. She jumped from the Monteleone. "There's a guy up there." An OPD cruiser screamed down Royal Street within minutes. Paramedics from University Medical Center found Sophia crumpled on the crumpled hood of the car, unconscious, blood pooling beneath her. Multiple fractures, collapsed lung, severe traumatic brain injury. She was intubated on scene and rushed into surgery. She remained in a medically induced coma for 19 days. In that liminal darkness, her body fought. Machines beeped. Her mother flew in from San Antonio and never left her side. Detectives from NOP's Violent Crimes Unit pieced together the nightmare. Hotel security footage showed Marcus fleeing down the back stairs minutes after the jump. Tinder data, phone pings, and Sophia's bruised neck told the rest. When she finally opened her eyes on August 2, 2024, the first thing she saw was her mother's tear-streaked face. The second was a gentle detective asking if she could remember anything. She could. Through slurred speech and overwhelming pain, Sophia gave them everything: his full name, the loft address in Austin, the exact phrases he'd used, the way he'd mentioned the others. Her testimony was gold. Combined with digital forensics, it linked Marcus to 2 cold cases in Baton Rouge and 1 disappearance in Houston. He was arrested 3 days later at Louis Armstrong Airport, trying to board a flight to Mexico under a fake ID. In his carry-on, zip ties, a hunting knife, and Sophia's missing earring. Marcus Hale now awaits trial on multiple counts of attempted murder, aggravated assault, and suspicion of serial homicide. Prosecutors are seeking the death penalty. Sophia Ramirez survived, but the woman who woke from that coma was forged in fire. She walks with a slight limp. Nightmares still come. Yet she rebuilt slower, wiser, with iron in her veins. She left Austin for a quieter life in the Texas Hill Country, where the stars feel safer. Therapy, art, and advocacy for dating app safety became her new palette. The French Quarter still pulses with jazz and laughter, but on Royal Street late at night, some locals swear they see a shadow on the fifth-floor balcony of the Hotel Monteleone, a woman's silhouette, poised between flight and fight, reminding the city that even the hottest flames can hide monsters. And somewhere in a cold cell, Marcus Hale stares at the wall, knowing the one who got away became the one who brought him down. If you were gripped by Sophia's terrifying journey from passion to survival, hit that subscribe button for more raw, pulse-pounding true crime stories like this one, exclusive cases, deep dives, and early access to new releases. Your support keeps these shadows illuminated. Subscribe now and never miss the next heart-stopping tale.